Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I'm Captain Lorenzo Dorsey, the Public Information Officer for the Auburn Police Division. To all the members of media, friends here today, I know it's been a trying few hours. I know it has been for us as well. We appreciate the kindness and respect you have displayed to us and ask that you continue patient and understanding as we move forward in this case. I would like to now introduce Mayor Ron Andrews to say a few words.
Thank you, Lorenzo. It's a great responsibility to tell you what a sad day this is for our community. On behalf of our elected officials and our entire community, we're very sorry that we have lost an officer in the line of duty. To his family, we are here with you. We will not leave you, and we will stand beside you to help you get through this. McKenna, Henry, and Sarah, you're in our prayers now and for a long time. One of the foundational blocks of our great community is the fact that we live in a very safe town. And that's because of the professionalism of our police force. We're blessed. But not only because of the professionalism, the tools that they have to work with, but because they are courageous men and women. They are faithful servants to our community. And last night, 3 courageous young men, faithful servants to our community, went to protect us. We're thankful that 2 of them were with us today, and that they'll be with us, and we look forward to the recovery and supporting them as they move forward. And to Will Beekner, we're sorry. We thank you for giving your life on behalf of all of us to protect us all. Today I ask my community to take time to pray for the Beekner family, to pray for our officers that are recovering, and to continue to pray for our police force at large. I ask you also to take time and be intentional to say thank you to these men and women when you see them out and about each and every day. And remember that the smiles on our faces, the freedoms we have, the enjoyments that we realize in our community are because those men and women are keeping us safe each and every day. May God bless the families who've been impacted. May God continue to bless and protect this great community of Auburn. Thank you.
I'd like now to introduce the Chief of Police in Auburn, Chief Paul Register.
To restate some of the facts that we gave earlier, in case they're not out there, at approximately 10:10 p.m. last night, officers of the Auburn Police Division responded to a domestic disturbance in the 3000 block of Wire Road. Those 3 officers, when they arrived at that disturbance, were met with an individual armed with a firearm, and at that point he began firing upon the officers. 3 officers were injured, 2 of them very seriously, and 1 of them unfortunately was fatally injured. The 2 officers that were injured were transported, 1 to East Alabama Medical Center, and then 1 to Columbus Regional Medical Center. At approximately 7 a.m. this morning, Auburn Police Division members, along with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, located and arrested Grady Wayne Wilkes, age 29, of Auburn, in the 900 block of Lee Road 9. He was taken into custody and is charged with capital murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and domestic violence in the 2nd degree. This is the individual that we posted the lookout for earlier today, and he was taken into custody. As you heard, the officers involved in this situation, we're saddened to say that Officer William Beekner was fatally injured in the line of duty as he responded to that call for service at last night. Additionally, Officer Webb Sistrom was injured and is transported to Columbus Regional Medical Center. He is expected to recover. And as well, Officer Evan Elliott was injured and has been treated and released. Again, our deepest thoughts are with the members of the division, the Bickner family, and the other families for the injuries that they've received. There's no doubt that I have to say to you, this is a very difficult time for the city, for the community, for the police division, and we just ask that you be respectful of the family and continue to keep them in your thoughts and prayers. I definitely want to thank those that have been involved in this investigation. The investigation itself is being conducted by the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. They have been investigating this case from the very beginning and will continue to do so. The assisting agencies in this case were the Auburn Fire Division, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, U.S. Marshal Service, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Alabama Department of Forensic Science, State Medical Examiner's Office, the Lee County District Attorney's Office, the Lee County Sheriff's Office, Lee County Coroner's Office, Opelika Police Department, Auburn University Department of Campus Safety and Security, Southwest Lee County Fire Department, the Valley Police Department, East Alabama Medical Center Emergency Medical Services, and the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources work together to bring this case to the point that it is now. Again, we have arrested the individual. He has been charged with those charges that you heard earlier. So that's the situation as it stands right now with the case. The investigation is ongoing, and that is the information that we have for you at this time. And we could take a few questions. We may or may not be able to answer those questions. We'll talk about what we can.
Do you know anything about the suspect's background?
The suspect was someone that we were not familiar with before this incident last night. We have not had any dealings with him here in this community. He was in the military for a number of years, and just someone who worked locally, and we've not had any issues with him prior to last night.
Chief, we've heard that he was wearing perhaps a helmet and body armor. Is that accurate? And so, any explanation as to why that may have been the case, why he had that on?
That would be facts of the case that we're still trying to get to as far as why that was the case, but we're definitely still working on that part of it.
Did the officers return, were they able to return fire?
We won't get into the certain facts of the case such as that, but you know, as I said, the officers were the only ones who received injuries.
You mentioned this was a domestic situation. Was there someone that was a victim of domestic violence there at the scene, and was there any relationship between that victim and the suspect?
As in a domestic situation, there usually is a relationship, and we are thankful at least that the person that initially contacted us and that these officers went to help was not injured and was able to escape the situation.
Can you say what the relationship was to the suspect?
We won't get into that further.
Chief, do you know more about the military service, branch of service, discharge, what he might have done while he was in the service?
I'm not completely aware of that. Obviously, we're still working on a lot of facets of the case, but I just do know that he was in the military for a period of time.
Chief, can you give us some idea about the arrest this morning? Did he put up any sort of resistance?
Well, the arrest itself was a culmination of a lot of work by the folks that you have heard about. It was a combination of citizens reporting suspicious activity and law enforcement doing a good job, and it was relatively uneventful when we took the person into custody. And so no one was injured during the arrest of the suspect.
How far, those who might not be familiar with this area, how far was that from where the police responded to the scene? How far away was he captured? I know this was about an 8-hour span, right, from when the incident happened?
I'm not exactly sure. I would say it would be within a mile.
Were these three officers the only three that responded to this incident?
There were others that responded, and these three were the three that were injured.
Can we get a spelling on Bittner, please?
Yes, we will be passing out a flyer that has all of the officers' photographs as well as their names.
That'll take care of it then.
Yes, thank you.
Can you spell it at this time?
The last name is Buechner. Buechner. As I said, we will pass out that flyer.
When's the last time the police department lost an officer on duty?
I'm not aware of us losing an officer on duty with the city of Auburn, certainly in the time that I've been here, in the 31 years.
Did you know the officer, and if so, could you describe what he was like?
All of the officers that have been mentioned here today were very dedicated. You know, William Bickner has been with us for, I believe, 13 years. Very fine veteran officer. we think a lot of William Beaton and his family, and just a great officer, and as well as the other officers. Officer Webb Sistrunk has been here about 8 years. He's a K-9 officer, very accomplished in that role. And then Officer Elliott has been with us since 2018. All fine young men.
Tell me about what something like this does to your department, to your officers.
Well, as you can imagine, it will be difficult for our entire community. As the mayor mentioned, this is not the kind of thing that we're used to have happening here, but we are not immune to things that can happen, and so this will be difficult for us, but we mainly intend to rally around each other and the families and just get through this together and get back out there and do the job.
Where is Wilkes right now, and is he, did he say anything to police when he was taken in? Has he explained any of what has happened?
I will just say that he was cooperative in conversations with law enforcement, and we'll just leave it at that for now, but he was cooperative in these conversations. And he will be obviously transported to the Lee County Jail at some point.
That has not happened yet, though.
I'm not sure if he's been or not.
Can you get any detail about how he was found? Was there a tip called in? Was he spotted somewhere? How's
Well,
that come about?
without getting too specific, again, with a combination of people calling in suspicious activity and then law enforcement doing those things that you would expect to happen when looking for someone that's a fugitive.
How much manpower, how many different officers were involved in this search?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, all of the agencies that you heard, I mean, I would say, dozens, even maybe 100 or so that were here working with us. From the very beginning, we didn't even have to call for assistance, it just showed up. So we're very thankful for that.
Was Mr. Wilkes living in the area? Is he from Lee County?
He was residing here at the time, and again, it was a domestic disturbance that led to this, and so, he was residing here at the time.
Have you guys been called to this address before?
I'm not aware if we have or not, and that would be something we would just have to look into. I'm not aware of it.
Can you speak to the different ways that citizens were alerted while the situation was developing?
Absolutely. We put out information through you guys, as well as through city channels, and we also are in communications with the university. They put out information as well. So that's the typical forms that we do that.
How would you describe the suspect's emotional state at this point? You said that he's cooperative, but has the reality of all this sunk in?
I wouldn't want to speculate on what his thoughts are. Obviously, I think the situation speaks for itself. I really do.
Is there any idea at this point, this may be a question for the district attorney, but is there any idea at this point on when you may get that first hearing?
He'll have, like with anybody that's arrested, particularly on a felony charge, they have, it's called a 48-72-hour hearing, but he'll go before the judge sometime the next day or two, where he will be told what the charges are against him. With capital murder, he is not entitled to a bond, and we don't anticipate him having a bond in this case. But he'll sit before a judge within the next 2 days, and then he'll have an opportunity for a preliminary hearing that he has to request. That'll get set by the judge, so that'll happen at some point, and we'll just run through the process that way, and grand jury will be up after that.
I know this is very early on, but with capital murder, are you willing to say here and now whether or not you're going to pursue the death penalty in a case like this?
Yes, you shoot a police officer, we're going to pursue the death penalty, absolutely.
There you go.
Chief, do you feel comfortable talking about the officer who passed away, what he was like to work with? Was he an award-winning officer? Any idea?
Well, if you do this job for 13 years, I think that in itself says a lot about the dedication of that officer. Definitely well-liked by his peers and respected. And I think it's just typical of what we have here as an employee at the City of Auburn. We're very proud of all of the officers involved in the situation, how they've handled this difficult situation, and also we know how they will rally around the family and each other, and we're just so proud of the work that they do.
Chief, who notified the family? If that was you, could you explain that task and having to do that?
We won't get into that. I mean, that's just those private things that we deal with, and So, but please keep those families in your thoughts. They are dealing with the unthinkable at this time, so just please keep them in your thoughts.
Chief, how is the rest of the department handling this right now? What are their emotions like with his partners? We're on the street with him, and it was well here in the building.
Well, you know, obviously, we've got to take care of our employees and each other, and we'll be dealing with that in the days to come. You know, who knows how it will affect each individual, but I think that it will be tough for everybody. As I said earlier, it will be tough for our entire community. We're very fortunate that we have so much public support in our community. And so I think the citizens have spoken, they've reached out to us, and they're very sympathetic, and we appreciate those thoughts.
Chief, how old was Officer Lee?
I don't even have that, but we can get that to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Will y'all provide a picture?
Yes.
Yes, we will be handling your
I'll
pictures.
draw a picture here. That's going to conclude the news conference. I will have handouts for everyone, and the news release will be sent out electronically as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.